the holiday of Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is the 15th of the month of Shvat, the month of Aquarius, when we have the full moon in Leo, just opposite the sun in Aquarius. And the Rav taught us that every event like that, it's a window in time. And that window is for us to connect to a special energy that helps our soul to elevate to a higher place and much, much closer to the goal and to the essence that we came here to life. So Tu B'Shvat is the head of the year. It's the beginning of the year for the trees. And we know according to Kabbalah that a year is a time of judgment and a month is a time of renewal. Every month we are celebrating the new moon, and we know that whatever seed level we put in the new moon, this is what we're going to have during the month. And when we have full moon like today, and the full moon in Leo, we're taking all the energy that we invested in the new moon, and we can start to manifest it because the moon is full. Okay, but when it comes to a year, it's a time of judgment. It's time that we need to think, okay, how do I continue from that? What happened until now? And how do I continue from that? So we have the new year, it's called Rosh Hashanah, in the month of Libra. And when we really, we are spending a lot of times in the war room, and we are asking for forgiveness and repentance, and we can start all over again. And then in Tu B'Shvat, we can do that again, connecting to a tree. So again, as student of Kabbalah, we know we are talking about the tree of life. And the numerology of tree, Ilan in Hebrew, is 91. And 91 is the connection of the upper world and the upper world and the lower world, which is the spiritual world and the physical world. We combine them together, and this is the Amen. And we're eating fruits. We're eating fruit from the tree. And we know already from Genesis, from Bereshit, when Adam and Eve ate from the tree, it was not a real fruit, it was a certain light. So all the trees in the garden were a certain light, and the light of the tree of knowledge, good and bad, it was a big light, a large light that we were not able to handle yet. And when they took it before time, the vessel broke up. Right? So when we are eating from the tree, from the fruit of the tree, we are connecting to a certain light that we can have today in Tu B'Shvat, when the full moon in Leo. And what is that fruit that we're connecting to? All right, because the tree that I've always explained is going against nature. The way the tree growing is growing against nature. And in life, we have values and we have needs. And there is a big tension between that values and the needs. Okay, the needs usually are very urgent and we need them right here and right now. And the values that we have are very high and very elevated, and connecting us to something that is more internal, something that has to do with our future, with beyond time, space, and motion. Okay, and now in Shvat, also remember Shvat is the Dli, is the Aquarius, and Aquarius have the ability to be very detached. We know also that Uranus is in Taurus right now, and Taurus is the physicality, and Uranus, that the planet that rules Aquarius, is detaching us from a lot of material things, and teach us to learn and to live according to our true values. So that will help us. But when we come to Tu B'Shvat, we said that it's time of the year that we really need to stop and think, do I live by my values or I live by my needs? And unfortunately, humanity, all of us, we all do that together. We give up a lot of time our values because we have needs. When we live our values, it means that we live our truth. And when we live our truth, we are elevated. We are able to elevate ourselves. Now, what is that truth? For example, and without judgment to anyone, if I have a value, I always say I, but I'm just giving an example. If a person has a value to be an honest person, that care, to be, let's say, to be an honest person. All right. And then a person goes into the business and the business goes into trouble. But now he needs to charge a little bit more, which is it's against the values, because the value is to be an honest person. But because he has a need right now to make money, then the values, we start to bend it, and we don't really live by them. So even though a person has a value to really be an honest person, is very, very important for him. And when something happens, then we feel, but I have no choice. That I have no choice. This is exactly when we attach to material. This is exactly when we attach to physicality. And this is exactly the time that we attach to the fact that we disconnect from creator or from something that is higher. All right. Or even extreme example, someone has a value to be loyal, really want to be loyal. And then the husband and the wife doesn't pay attention to them. They work too hard. They're not there for them. And the person feels lonely. And then the person feels, yes, I want to be loyal, but listen, I'm lonely. So I'm going to be with someone else. And many times things happen like that. So it can be extreme example like that, or it can be things on a daily basis that happen to us that we always, not always, but we sometimes, we give our values. All right. Or a person work very, very hard and very hard, and he wants to please the boss, The moment we are pleasing, we don't live our values anymore, because now we want to make someone else happy. Someone else loves us, someone else. So every time we are not us, we are not living our truth. So our value is very, very important. And that value is the fruit that we are receiving in Tu B'Shvat. And we can see how it connects to astrology and how to connect to the portion of Beshalach. When we actually leave Egypt, the people of Israel leaves Egypt. Okay, so what's important here is that, because when I live my value, when I live to be the honest person and the loyal person and the person that appreciate me, because that's my value, then I connect to the heart. And the moment that I connect to the heart, because I live in peace, I live by my values, then I can be a complete person. When I can be a complete person, I constantly elevate my soul to a place the soul wants to be. In Aquarius, the detachment of the Aquarius is the ability to let go of all these needs that we have to have, and we have to give up our value for them because we have to have it. And we have the ability to be more objective and to put things in the right perspective. That's the strength of Aquarius. Okay. Now we are a full moon of Leo, and Leo is very, very personal. Leo is very individual, is very intensive. He's not part of the group. He's part of, I need the respect, and now we're talking about a full moon, and the moon usually represent lack. So even though Leo are amazing people, okay, but if the full moon, so we want to let go of that lack of the Leo, okay, when the polarity will be in Aquarius. Aquarius is the group, okay. Aquarius is not personal relationship, it's objectivity. And the Leo is exactly the opposite. It's about me. It's about the individual. It has nothing to do with the group. It's everything that is personal, to my ego, to my love, to my, to my creativity. And so when we know how to handle that Leo, we really open the heart, because Leo is about heart. Leo is about heart. It's about creativity. It's about leadership. Leo is amazing that way. And if we know if a Leo, that's what we have now. If the Leo really want to open the heart and use that heart of him, like amazing, open the heart and be very objective. Do not giving up the value because I want people to love me and I want people to recognize me, and because I cannot do without it right now. So when we combine the heart and the brain. It's beautiful. And it's very, very strong. The month of Shvat, the month of Aquarius, and also the month of Leo. We also have Tu B'Av, the 15th of the month of Av of Leo. This is the holiday of love, if you remember, right? So every time in Tu B'Av, we're going to have a full moon in Aquarius, and every time in Tu B'Shvat, we're going to have a full moon in Leo. And it's always because this is the work. This is 2 times of the year that we've given that full moon, so we can find that balance between the heart and the brain. Okay, now the heart feels that he's missing something because the heart always wants to be fulfilled, right? Now, if the objectivity, is of the Aquarius can help that Leo, and in Tu B'Av, the coldness of the Aquarius actually can help to balance also the Leo. So when we're coming to the 15th of the month of Shvat, it's about opening the heart. And how one of the ways to open the heart is, and it's something that is very, fits Leo because Leo is very creative, is the imagination. It's the imagination. And I think we spoke in one of our classes that imagination has the numerology of miracles. And in a full moon, when we can complete things, we can imagine that our heart is happy, and everything that we need at the moment, something above can just fix that problem. We can see that problem fixed. We can see ourselves in relationship, and because it's not a problem, and we're going to talk about it this class about the crossing of the Red Sea. So I want to talk about it later more, but right now about the imagining, if I don't believe I can be loved, it doesn't matter how much I'll tell myself you're loved, you're loved, you're loved, you're loved. If the heart doesn't feel it, it's not going to happen, right? And again, we talked about that a lot too. But this is the time when the full moon in Leo, when the heart wants to open up, to imagine that the heart is full, that I feel I can be loved. I feel I can have good sustenance. I feel I can live my values. I feel I can be complete. Okay, so that imagination goes straight to the heart so we can feel complete. The portion starts like that. ויהי בשלח פרעה את העם, ולא נחם אלוקים דרך ארץ פלישתים, כי קרוב הוא, כי אמר אלוקים פן ינחם העם בראותם מלחמה ושבו מצרימה. Starts already that Pharaoh is sending the people of Israel, but the Creator is not taking them straight. It says there is 3 days between Egypt into the land of Israel. 3 days of walking. But no, so the Creator didn't take them that straight way. He took them around. Okay? Because the Creator says, Kikarovu, because it's too close. And the Creator says, Peni nechema biruta milchama veshavu mitzrayma. The first time the Israelites will see that it's a little bit difficult, they will want to go back to Egypt because it's too close. It's too close. And there is a story of Ben Ishai that I heard from one of the Kabbalists about a bird that was in a cage, in a house, and another bird from the outside came and says to the bird in the cage, why are you in a cage? Come, go out, come fly with me. Set yourself free. And the bird in the cage said, no, but I don't know how to fly. And the bird outside said, but look, you have wings. You can fly. Come, try, you can fly. The bird says, okay, and she's trying with the wings, and wow, she can fly, and she's going out the door, and she's flying with the other bird. But the cage is still there. She's going out into a new reality. And suddenly there is challenges. The food is not just been given to her. She's going to have to look for food. And maybe there is some dangerous, because maybe there's bigger birds who's going to come and try to, to eat her. So as long as she can see the cage, she's coming back. She's coming back to it. But if the cage is being destroyed, that's what happened to Egypt, it's being destroyed, Then she said, okay, this is my new life and I need to get used to my new life. And she's free. Now she's have to deal with other things, right? Because even in that freedom, she can fly anywhere she wants. She still have to find food, and she still have to find water, and she still need to be careful not to be killed. But she's a free. And the question is that, we need to ask ourselves also, and it has to do again with values and needs. We are free people. But so yes, I live my value today, but the moment tomorrow that I'm going to feel stress, am I going to lose that value again? Am I going to go back to be the way I was? Therefore, when we want to move forward in our life, we already decided that we want to do something new. We need to let go of the old, and we sometimes need to be far away from the old, even physically. If we decided to go in different ways, and if a person said that he doesn't want to steal anymore, but he still live in the neighborhood of thieves, it's going to be very hard, or even to stop it, or even to live close by, and he sees friends from right here, they can come back to it. But if we want something that we don't want anymore, we really need to be far away from it and destroy what we had before. Because as long as we see it, we come back. Therefore, the Creator took the people of Israel, not the shortest way. Sometimes we need to go the longer way to really get far away from what we've been before. So many times we don't have patience for the process, but we know that every process that we have is a good process for us. This portion, mostly talking about three things, right? The crossing of the Red Sea, the song that the people of Israel sang to the Creator, it's called Shirat Hayam, the song of the sea, and the manna, the food that they came from above. And in the Zohar it says, I'm going to say it in Hebrew first, Kashim mezonotav shel adam kekriat yam suf. It's hard for the Creator to bring sustenance for the person, like it's hard to cross the Red Sea. And if you study Kabbalah for a while, I'm sure you heard that before. So it says that about sustenance, which is the manna, okay? And it says that about relationship, zivugim. It says, Kashim zivugim kekriat yam suf. The intercourse, the putting, it's called zivug. Zivug, it's intercourse, not physically, not sex, but to put people together. It's hard for the Creator, like crossing the Red Sea. So we have the two things that it says in the Zohar, that it's hard to do for the Creator, as hard as it was to split the Red Sea, and we have the splitting of the Red Sea. So it's all in this portion. It's all in this portion, the power of sustenance and the power of relationship between people. And now, why it's so hard? Okay, so the manna has to do with the sustenance, and the Shirat Hayam, the song of the sea, has to do with relationship, with putting people together. Because during the Shirat Hayam is what the people of Israel sang to the Creator after the sea closed again, and all the Egyptian died. And we know we're not happy for any human being to die, but we're not, again, talking about people. We're talking about consciousness of the Satracha. So the song that they sang, okay, so the song singing at all has to do with Olam Bria, okay, not with the world of action, with the world of creation. And an energy from the world of creation came down to earth, okay, at that moment, after the splitting of the Red Sea, after everything is over. Okay, energy of Bria, from Olam Bria, came down. Therefore, the entire people of Israel, they sang that song all together. They knew the word, they knew the melody, they knew everything. How? Because it was not a song that you go in and you learn in a class. It's a divine song that came from above, that has to do with Olam Bria. And Olam Bria, the world of creation, Olam Bria means the world of creation. This is the place that zivugim, that relationship happens, and then come down to this world. Okay? So we have that energy of Shirat Hayam that is coming down from Olam Bria here. So, we can tap into energy of a relationship. Okay? And when we're going to talk about the splitting of the Red Sea, we're going to see how we can connect to it. So we have the Shirat Hayam, and then we have the manna, the sustenance that came from heaven, literally. And we're really not talking about, because the manna was not a physical food. It was a spiritual food. Okay? It was a spiritual food that when the people of Israel had it, they had enough. They didn't need anything else. And again, it's to detach from the need. And we can see in the future how they complain and they want meat and they want, they want the physical food. But everybody had. And the more the person knew that he's going to wake up in the morning and the manna will be there, the manna was waiting for him right outside of his tent. And when a person didn't believe that the manna will be there, he had to leave his tent and to walk and to look for where the manna is. All right, so it was all about that certainty. That's why it's so hard, the sustenance, because it has to do with that certainty that we have about sustenance. When the people of Israel came to the sea, okay, and then they saw it was the sea, and Pharaoh suddenly, decided to, it's more than that, obviously, decided to chase the people of Israel. And then you have the sea in one hand, and then the Egyptian from behind. There were four type of people that came to Moses. One of them said, let's surrender and go back to Egypt. We tried, it doesn't work. Let's go back to Egypt. Remember that cage? It's easier there, the food that we had in Egypt. They complained. At least we had food there. We didn't have to fight for food, right? The second group said, no, we're going to fight. We're going to fight and we're going to show them and we're going to... Okay. The third group said, let's pray. Let's pray to the Creator. I'm sure the Creator will listen to us. And the fourth one says, you know what? Let's just jump into the sea. We are not going back. But from a point of view of let's suicide. You know what? We don't want to go back to Egypt. We don't want to go back to that movie. We cannot take it anymore. We have no choice. Let's suicide. Let's give up our value. Let's doesn't matter. Let's suicide. Let's kill ourselves there. Let's jump into the water. Not from a point of view of, actually they jump into the water, but the consciousness of the people who came to Moses was about suicide. Okay. Moses heard all of them. Okay. And he was like, what are you talking about? You don't need to do anything. You just need to continue. It says the beautiful phrase. It says Hashem ilachem lachem v'atem tacharishun. It's the people who said let's surrender, forget about them. The people who said let's fight, he says no, God will fight for you. The people who say let's pray to the Creator, it says you don't need to pray, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Right? Hashem ilachem lachem v'atem tacharishun. And then the Creator went, and then Moses went to the Creator, and Creator says, why are you screaming at me? Tell to the people of Israel and move. The Creator says, just continue. It's called devotion, mesirut nefesh. Mesirut nefesh is I'm devoting myself all the way. So when a person has, let's say, even you can see in a chart, that a person is not supposed to have money, not in this lifetime, what can you do? Because like I said, money has to do with mazala. In order to change that person's ability to make money, the person really needs to do something crazy, like crossing the Red Sea. Crossing the Red Sea was a miracle, and I'm sure maybe you heard it in other classes because we talk about it all the time, and here we go again. It's a miracle that goes above nature. If a person wants sustenance and it doesn't work for him, but the person doesn't give up, not just physically doesn't give up, consciously doesn't give up, I know the Creator will help me. I know I didn't come here to suffer. I know I can make it. I know, Creator, please help me. And not giving up, not going back to Egypt saying, oh, you know what, I tried, I cannot do that anymore. I have an obstacle. There's an obstacle. I'm taking a step backwards. No, just to continue and to continue and to continue until a miracle above nature is happening. All we need to do is to continue and to go above nature, because this is the time. Sometimes we have classes that we say, you know what, we're human being. We need to feel, mercy. We need to know that we're only human being. We're allowed to make mistakes. And there's time in our life that we say, no, I don't accept it. If I'm staying human, I'm staying weak. I want to go above nature. And if I want to go above nature, I'm going to jump into the water, not to kill myself. I'm going to jump into the water and I'm going to walk. Until the water will split, until a miracle will happen. I'm not giving up. And that's what did Nachshon ben Aminadav, the head of the tribe of Judah. Okay, Nachshon, from the word nechishut. Nechishut is determination. He has a name of determination. And he was determined that a miracle will happen. He didn't jump into the water to say, I give up. He jumped into the water and he knew. Okay, he knew that the water, he didn't know that the water will split, but he knew something will happen. And it did. The water split. And what it says here, and this is what I read from you before, Uvnei Israel alchu bayabasha betoch hayam, and the people of Israel went in the land, in the water. Bayabasha betoch hayam, v'amayim lahem choma, and the water was a wall around them. When we have the world is this world is the world of sea, the world of ocean, and the next world, the upper world, is called the world of land. Okay, and why is that? Because in the ocean there's a lot of life, but it's all concealed. Okay, it's concealed. When we allow things to take over, our needs to take over, let's say money, for example. If we have a need for money and we work very hard for money, and here and there we forget our values and we cheat a little bit and we steal a little bit, not stealing, we're not going to the store and steal, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. We have, we're bending those values. All right, then the ocean is taking over. The illusion is taking over, that we cannot really see. It's all concealed. This world is a world of concealment. It's a world of concealment. But whatever it is that we're going through, and we still fight to see the light in it, we live in a land. And a land, it means that everything is open. You walk in a land and you can see everything around you. It's not hidden. It's right there. And that is the world to come. All right. So the people of Israel went in the ocean, in the land, in the ocean. So even in a world of concealment, we can still see the true reality. All right. And then the water stand like a choma, like a wall around them. They protected them. The water, not only that they didn't drown them, they protected them. So if a person wants money so much, and he knows how to handle money, he knows to share and to give tzedakah, and he knows how to restrict, and he knows how to be honest, and he knows how to go according to the values, not only that money will not going to be a problem, money will protect him. Okay, he will be protected by money. And the water was a wall around them. And they went in the land. It was dry. You would think the water split up, but there's still mud. 50 miracles happened on that ocean, on that sea. 50 miracles. The goal is to live a spiritual life in a material world. And that's the secret. Okay? And the secret is because I know it happens to me, I know it happens to many, many people that's starting to study Kabbalah or any spirituality. Suddenly they just want to meditate, they want to be spiritual people. They lose their businesses, they lose their money, they lose physically things. Some lose because they had to go through some cleansing, but even if you need to go through cleansing and you can bring back money again. But people, that's it. They had successful businesses, some more, some less, and started spirituality, and everything went. Because there is some, it's coming from totally the other side. That if you want to be spiritual, then money is not important. And money is important. Physical life is important. We need to take care of food, and we need to take care of money, and we need to go to vacation, and we need to take care of physical things. Okay, but we need to handle it in a spiritual way. Many people leave everything. They think if they're going to meditate or scan Zohar, they're not going to do physical things to be successful in their physical life, then it's enough to read the Zohar. Well, it's not enough just to read. It's beautiful, it's important, it's essential to read the Zohar, but not instead of working, not instead of the desire of being successful, to have things on a physical level. And like the Rav said, it's not enough just to sit and meditate and to leave the work. I know people that left their family to go to India with their guru and to sit there, and they become too spiritual, but also here in not India, forget, here around us. People lose their stuff because they think that now they're spiritual. Spirituality is to know how to combine these two worlds, to work in the land, in the water, in the land. To be spiritual, not to be attached, not to give up to our needs, to live our values. But within our value, we can have money. Within our value, we can have relationship. Within our value, we can have a boss that appreciating us. We can have children that appreciating us. There's no problem. We don't need to be either or, okay? Push against the nature to keep our values, to go above the nature, to change destiny. That's what we can have. And in this weekend, actually today, it's today, right? Today we have the sun in Aquarius. The sun in Aquarius, sun is the essence. The sun is in Aquarius is exactly opposite the moon, right? The moon in Leo, full moon, and it's always parallel to the sun in Aquarius. But not only that it's a full moon, that's a full moon. That sun today in the full moon is conjunct Jupiter. Okay, sun conjunct Jupiter happens once a year. And then Aquarius is a beautiful sign. You probably hear Aquarius. Last year we heard Capricorn. And since 2020, I just say Aquarius, because we shifted energy, right, from Capricorn to Aquarius. And when the sun is our essence, conjunct Jupiter is a good planet, is expansion planet, is a planet of belief, it rules Sagittarius, unlimited miracles, so when the sun together with Jupiter, look at the full moon, that we can manifest things, that we can go against, and again, against our nature. What does it mean against our nature? Let it not be a slogan. It's not even go against our nature. It just continue to go, continue to do. Don't give up. Even if you don't feel like, even if you're tired, even if you say, nah, it's not going to work, just continue. Let's go against the nature. It's like to think, what is my nature? To go against it. Just continue to walk. Just don't. Yes, we need to pray to the Creator, but in that moment, you just continue to walk until you change that nature. You don't give up. You don't feel like doing it, and you're doing it anyway. You feel like overwhelmed, and you're doing it anyway. You go against nature, I'm just human and I have to do that. It's not my fault. I have to, I couldn't. That's not an excuse anymore.